In a quiet American town lived a man named Michael Turner. He was 48, gentle, soft-spoken, and carried a heart full of wounds no one could see. Michael wasn't married and had no children of his own, but he had the courage to love kids who weren't born from him but arrived at his doorstep broken. For the past 10 years, Michael had been a foster dad, and in those 10 years, almost every child who came into his home eventually left. Not because Michael wasn't kind, but because broken children often carry a fear heavier than their small shoulders can hold the fear of being abandoned again. Every time a child left, Michael would stand in the empty room they once used, staring at the toys, the drawings on the fridge, the memories hanging in the air. Each time, he told himself, maybe next time I won't get too attached. But he always did, because Michael didn't know how to love halfway. One cold November evening, he received a call from the foster agency. A voice said, "Michael, we have a child for you. Her name is Lily. She's 7, and she has nowhere else to go." He whispered, "Bring her." That night, a small girl with a purple backpack and frightened eyes stepped into his home. She didn't speak. She didn't smile. She just stared at the floor. "Hi, Lily," Michael said gently. "This is your room. You're safe here." She didn't respond. For days, Lily barely talked. She jumped at loud sounds, slept with the lights on, and cried quietly at night. Michael would stand outside her door, not wanting to scare her, but wanting to be near, just in case she needed someone. Slowly, tiny changes began. She started sitting at the dinner table. She'd watch cartoons with him from a distance. She began drawing small pictures of sunsets, birds, and hearts. Then one morning, Michael found a drawing on the fridge. It was a picture of her and him, 2 stick figures holding hands. At the bottom, in shaky handwriting, she wrote, "Me and Michael." Michael's eyes filled with tears. But the real turning point arrived one winter night during a loud thunderstorm. The sky shook, lightning flashed, and Lily woke up screaming. She ran out of her room, trembling, tears streaming down her little face. Without thinking, she wrapped her tiny arms around Michael's waist and cried into his shirt. "Dad, please don't let me go." Michael froze. He'd been called many things in his life, sir. Mr. Turner, foster guardian, but never Dad. Not with this much fear, not with this much love. He knelt down, held her small face, and said with a breaking voice, "I'm right here, Lily, and I'm not going anywhere. Not now, not ever." That night she fell asleep in his arms, and for the first time in years, Michael felt something warm inside his chest, something that felt like home. But life is never simple. A few months later, the agency called. Lily's biological relatives had shown interest. She might be taken away. Michael felt his world shatter. He'd lived this heartbreak before, but this time was different. This time, the child loved him back. He stared at her small shoes near the door, the drawings on the wall, the toothbrush beside his. "How do I let go of my daughter?" he whispered into the darkness. The next day, Lily overheard the social workers talking. Fear widened her eyes. She ran to Michael, grabbed his shirt, and said, "Dad, please, don't let them take me. I want to stay with you." His heart broke wide open. He hugged her tight and whispered, "I'm going to fight for you, Lily, with everything I have." And he did. He went to court, filled out endless paperwork, and stood before judges explaining how Lily had changed his life, how she'd started healing, how she'd called him Dad on a stormy night. After months of waiting, the call finally came. "Michael, congratulations. The adoption is approved." He dropped into a chair, covered his face, and cried the kind of tears a man cries only when life gives back what it once took away. That evening, he sat beside Lily, held her little hands, and said, "Lily, you're not my foster daughter anymore. You're my daughter, forever." She smiled, a smile brighter than the sun, and with tears in her eyes whispered, "I knew you wouldn't leave me." Michael hugged her tightly, finally feeling whole. Because sometimes, family isn't made by blood, but by love that refuses to give up. And Michael Turner, the man who once lived in an empty house, finally became what he always wanted to be, a father. Thanks for watching.